In this video, we're going to look at how to calculate balance using the sum function, and then we'll look at how to copy that formula down so that it references each cell a little bit differently and only requires you to put the formula in one time. So just taking a quick look here, you can see that I have my 10,000 typed into my deposit column because that's the 10,000 the lottery commission gives me each month. And then you want to also make sure that that $10,000 is typed into the balance column because we're going to figure out how much we have. And remember, balance is how much is still in the account. At the beginning of the month, you had a deposit of 10,000, so the balance is 10,000. So once you have the 10 items that you're going to buy each month keyed in and the dates keyed in that you came up with randomly, along with the cost of each item, you can then put the formula in, and I'll show you how to copy that formula all the way down. So you want to put your mouse first underneath the balance, in this case $10,000, and you just kind of want to think about what it is you want to do before you do it. So just thinking out loud, what I see here and what we want to do is this. I have my $10,000 in my account. I bought 10 things, so I want to subtract each item from my amount or from the balance. So, just in our heads here, we have $10,000 at the beginning of the month. We bought a new laptop computer that was $1,000. If we take 10,000, subtract 1,000, we get 9,000. So in this first part of this assignment, in the bank record part of this, we're doing only subtraction. We're taking our balance and subtracting all of the things we bought. So this is going to be a subtraction formula for each month. And we're going to start with subtracting the first thing. In this month, it's the new laptop computer. So making sure that you have your balance typed in, you want to put your mouse or select the cell underneath the $10,000. Once you do that, you want to move your mouse up to this sigma button or the sum function, or it kind of looks like a backwards E. You want to click right in the center of that, and you'll notice that a formula comes up here and it says equals sum. Well, we know that sum is addition, so we're going to have to tell it to subtract. And we just want it to subtract two cells. We want it to subtract E2, which is where the $10,000 is. And we want to subtract from that D3, which is where the $1,000 for the new laptop computer is. So the first thing we do again is we put your mouse where you want the first answer to be. You click the sum function. Now you're ready to go. The next thing we'll do is click the first number, put a minus sign in, and then click the second number, or click the number of the amount that we have, how much do we have, put the minus sign in, and then click the number that we want to subtract. So I put my mouse right in the center of the 10,000, notice the white crosshair, and I click one time. Notice the blue highlight went away, and now my cursor is blinking to the right of E2. That's where I put the minus sign in because I want to subtract, and now I click my second number. The second number is how much I want to subtract. In this case, it's $1,000. I click on the $1,000 and I hit enter or return, and I get $9,000. So let's do that again real quick. The first thing to do is put your mouse where you want the answer to be. The next thing is to click the sigma, or right in the center of the sum or the backwards E looking button. You're going to notice a formula shows up and it's got a little blue highlight on it. It's not sure what cell we want, so we have to tell it that in this function, the first number we want is the 10,000. So you go put your mouse right in the center of the 10,000, making sure it's a white crosshair, and clicking your left mouse button one time. The next thing to do is put the minus sign in from your keyboard, and then the third step is to click on the number I want to subtract. That's the 1,000. And notice it puts that cell address in there. And lastly, hit the enter key. So I just took 10,000, subtracted 1,000, and I know that the answer is correct because 10,000 minus 1,000 is 9,000. Now, we could do that again, and, just looking at 9,000, and we want to subtract 100, the answer is going to be 8,900. But rather than do that formula again, once you have it done one time, you want to take your mouse and move it back to the $9,000 or the answer that you just got, and just kind of take a look at this cell now. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a little blue cursor on that, or a little blue handle on that cell. You can see the blue handle here. You want to take a hold of that blue handle, and you take a hold of it by looking for the crosshair that's now white to turn black. When it turns to a black crosshair, you know you have a hold of the handle. So I move my mouse slowly down to the bottom corner of the cell, and it turns to a black crosshair. I know I have a hold of that handle now. I can hold my left mouse button down and just drag the formula all the way down, and it will know, Excel will know to do a relative cell address or reference, and it will come up with my total of $6,330 left over that month. Now remember, you need to have at least $5,000 left over each month. If you have more than that, no problem. In this case, I do. If you have less than $5,000, you want to go back and adjust some of these numbers so you at least have $5,000 left over. Because the second part of this assignment is to add up the 12 amounts that are left over each month and determine how much we have in the college fund. So before we label this college fund, let's just do it real quickly one more time. So here I have my balance of $10,000. I have the things that I hope to purchase or want to purchase for this month. I put my mouse underneath the $10,000 and click to highlight that cell. Put your mouse and highlight the cell where you want the answer to be. I hit the sigma button. I click the first number. I put the minus sign in. I click the second number and hit enter or return. I get my $9,000. I then move my mouse and click on the $9,000, look for the little blue handle in the bottom right-hand corner. I look for the white crosshair to turn to a black crosshair, and I know that I'm right on that handle. I hold my left mouse button down and drag the formula, and the math or the formulas for that particular month are done. One last thing to do here is to label it and highlight it. So I'm going to put to college fund, because that's the second part of this, the last part of this assignment. And then I'm actually going to highlight how much was left and my label to college fund. I'm going to go up here to my borders and choose the first one, which is outside borders. And then I'm just going to choose my paint bucket and choose a light shade to shade that in so it's easier to see when I do the second part of this assignment. So to do that again, I just highlighted the amount that was left and the label. I went over to the borders arrow. I chose the first one, which is outside borders, and then I chose a light color so I can see through it. I can still see my number, and now that's how much I can easily see how much was left over in the first month of spending. So lastly here, when you're ready to start your next month, you can copy your labels down, and let's do that. You want to click on A1 and just highlight across your labels from date all the way over to balance. You can then put your mouse right in the middle, white crosshair you're looking for in any one of those, right click, go to copy, and then go into column A, skip a few spaces, right click, and paste, and you have those labels ready to go. I'll change the color just to indicate the second month is ready to go. You could also use the shortcut keys to do that. I'm going to go up to the top again. I'm going to highlight across my labels. I'm going to hit Control C to copy my labels. I go down a few spaces underneath my first month. I hit Control V, and there my labels are ready to go for the next month. I'm going to highlight those and just change the color so it's easier to see where my second month starts or to set it apart. And now I'm going to start the next month. In this case, it would be April 1st, 2012. I have my second month's lottery winnings. It's a deposit of $10,000 again. I'm going to take that deposit over to my balance because that's how much I'm starting with this month. And we're ready to go. The next step is to put the 10 things that you buy in. You make up the dates, you make up the items, you make up the price. And you would repeat the formula the same way for the second month and roll through months 2 through 12 till you have 12 months of lottery winnings deposited into your account and 12 months where you spent the money on at least 10 things, remembering to have at least $5,000 left over each month. The second part of this assignment is to take those 12 amounts that are left over each month and add them up in the college fund. And that's the second part of this assignment we'll cover in the second video.